Hi and welcome back. I've got the Mondeo Mk3 2.2 TDCI back in. The other job I had to do on it was previously an EGR valve, and I had to look at the cooling system on this because in the expansion tank there is oil in the expansion tank. When you dip the oil doesn't seem to contain any water at all. It's purely oil on there, and in the oil filler cap there's no emulsion indicating any sort of head gasket failure. I've done previous oil coolers for this problem, where the oil mixes with the water, but the water doesn't seem to mix with the oil. The oil seems to get pushed through a defective oil cooler under pressure into the cooling system. So I'm going to drain the water out and remove the cooler and inspect it, and if it's defective then I'm just going to change it. So just showed you this up top. I'll get underneath, drain the water out, and get on to removing the cooler to have a look at it. Okay, I'm under the vehicle now. The oil cooler assembly is attached to the oil filter housing. It's the aluminium ribbed item there is the oil cooler, bolted to the housing. There'll be a gasket in between there. A bit hard to make out, but at the top there are a couple of rubber hoses that attach the cooling system in and out to the oil cooler. So it's just an in and out for the oil, for the water, and then the oil will be in and out as well via the oil filter housing, which is bolted to the cylinder block by, looks like, about 4 bolts. And the electrical connection you can see there is the oil pressure switch, which needs to be disconnected as well. So I'll just get removing this and see what we've got after that. One other thing I've done is I've unclipped this water hose here. It actually goes up and connects onto one of the connections on the actual oil cooler, so that will give me a bit of movement to perhaps feed the oil cooler down with the hose still attached, and then when it's down lower I can perhaps take the hoses off and drain it when it's a bit lower, when it's all attached to the complete housing, lower it all down is my theory. So we'll see what happens. There we go. Bolt out of the way. Let that sit there for a minute. Okay. It's the first one. We are going to lose water here, without a doubt. Here she comes. As you can see, instead of water coming out, I've got oil because it's mixed. But it will turn to water. There we go. Try not to get it on the camera if I can help it. Yuck. Oh, sludgy oil. Nice messy job. So, and take that off. Lay that one in the bucket. That's probably the best thing for that one. And then the rear one has got the sprung style clip, not the Jubilee clip, so I need to get on that with my clip removing tool. If I can get on there, if not, it's going to be a pair of pliers. Okay, got the clip undone. Whoa, to squeeze. And now we've got a gooey, watery, oily mess. Just drain that in the bucket and get it on the bench. Have a look. So off the vehicle now, you can see the two water connections and your two oil connections that mate up to the two holes on the engine block. Giving it a bit of a clean down. I'm now going to separate the old cooler, which is this piece, from the filter housing. So there's four look like Torx bolts. So I'll get on and do that. So I tried to pressurise the old one with some compressed air. I filled the oil side of it with water and blocked one of the outlets for the water outlet on there, and pressurised it with an air line on the other. Blocked one of these and then pressurised the other side, and I couldn't get any bubbles at all. Whether it only leaks when it's heated up, been on the engine for a while, obviously gets pretty warm. I couldn't find any leaks, but after speaking with the owner, he's willing to put another one on there. And say these are fairly common, as are many vehicles on the road, for oil cooler leaks. And as it's apart and off the car, it kind of makes sense to put another one on. So I'm going to put another one on, flush it all out, refill with coolant, do an oil change, and run it up and see what happens from there. So I'm just going to install this one. As you can see, there's a gasket required that fits on there. So I'm just going to bolt it up, get back underneath, and we'll get it back on the car. Okay, reassembled oil cooler. I've also put two new O-rings in the oil filter assembly. These are the O-rings that mate against the block, so they need to seal as well. So new O-rings in there, new gasket in between the cooler and the filter assembly. Okay, new cooler is on the car. Tightened the 4 bolts up evenly. Got the hoses back on up the top. Plugged in the oil pressure switch. And I'm going to refill with coolant. Give it a run up, and if all is good, I'll change the oil, flush the coolant, and refill with fresh antifreeze. So oil cooler's in, coolant's been flushed, changed the engine oil, been for a drive, added some antifreeze, and doesn't seem to be any oil coming out. It's going to take a while, obviously, for a good few drive cycles and some long runs, really, to make sure everything's okay. But yeah, I can update you anyway. New oil cooler on Ford Mondeo 2.2 diesel. It's a 2006. Thanks for watching. Bye now.